Hello friends, welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel for those of you who are new. So in today's new video, I definitely struggled as to what I wanted to do. I'm definitely still working on the video for recital prep and everything behind the scenes as to how I prepared and everything I did in order to do my senior recital. Although for today's new video, I wasn't really sure what to do. So I definitely thought, and I realized that a lot of you don't really know my story, or not so much my story, but the ins and outs of me, I guess you could say. So therefore, with that being said, I thought I could do a get ready with me, but telling you guys how I lost my virginity.
And
Now, yes, this is a scandalous video. Yes, this is a video I might regret in the near future, but living in the present, we're going to enjoy the story and see what happens. Without further ado, let's get into today's new video. So I have my wine. It is a port wine that I am drinking tonight. Definitely something a little bit different. I'm craving something a little bit sweet, but so strong. I don't know. I'm just in the middle of that right now. Nevertheless, I don't even know where to begin, honestly. Growing up gay definitely put a damper. I don't want to say put a damper, but it made it harder for me to really understand, sex.
Really, bitch.
And just finding myself as a person as well. And so definitely when it came to determining my sexuality and stuff like that, I definitely had to experiment a little bit just to really understand myself a little bit better, I think. And I think that definitely put a toll on me, because I grew up in a household where having sex was you're gonna wait till marriage. And so I thought that for the longest for the longest amount of time I could imagine, I definitely kept that true to myself, and I definitely wanted to wait till marriage and keep myself pure for the one true and only love. But during that time mindset too, I thought that I wasn't gay, and I thought I was going to be straight, and I definitely wanted to be straight, and I kept on telling myself I was going to be straight. So I feel it was it was definitely how do I say it, a battle with myself, I guess, to try and figure out where I was and where I stood with myself as a whole. Nevertheless, so in high school I had only a few actually I had one, not official, but I guess one genuine relationship, and it was my junior year that I had my first relationship, and it was this guy. I had talked to him, and he actually, fun fact, did not like me before we started talking. He thought he thought I was somewhat attractive, but he never genuinely, because I was younger than he was, he never actually wanted to pursue me, if that makes sense. So I kind of forced him to pursue me, which sounds really bad, I know, but you know what? Persistence is always key, in my opinion. Nevertheless, we did talk for about 3 months, and it went really well for those 3 months, but the only reason why it ended was because I remember the day that I was going to ask him to be, official, I guess, was the day that he decided to go off on me for telling somebody that I was going to make it official. So I was just you know what, I don't deserve this type of thing. And I was just be strong, be who you are, and not worry, you don't deserve this, basically, type of mentality. So I went ahead and ended it. Nothing, I really didn't think anything of it. Didn't date, but spring semester of high school did come around. And during this time, I had not done anything. I was still innocent as can be. Innocent being I kissed a guy, obviously, but that's literally about it. I hadn't done anything prior to that. So definitely it was one of those moments where it was just kind of whatever, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, so as we were on our trip, because I did make state and he made state as well, as we were on our trip to state, him and I kind of got in, and we talked off and on, obviously, throughout this entire time period, might I just say. But him and I started talking again, and we started just sending different interesting messages, I guess you could say, that perhaps weren't exactly PG-13. But at the same time, it wasn't rated R by any means. It was kind of innocent, I guess, still. But nothing really came of it Anyways, so as like, life went on and we started talking again, I eventually kind of, like, mind you, I don't think he was a virgin. I don't remember I don't remember, honestly. It was quite a while ago. And I remember we got to state and we kept on talking or whatever. And I'm very much so like the type of person that, like, if I'm going to date somebody or like, mess around with somebody, I have to know them for at least a year or be dating them or talking to them or at least like know something. Like, I don't want to say know something about them because I feel like that still counts as a hookup. Mind you, I've never really done hookups. I've never had hookups. It's just not who I am. It's not what I've really done in my life. If I'm going to mess around with somebody, it's going to be a long-term relationship, and that's that. And I think a lot of you guys can relate to that. Perhaps not a lot of my family can relate to that just because a lot of them are very conservative. But for me, like, a lot of my friends can relate to that, I feel like. Nevertheless, so at the time I was we started like talking again, definitely like starting to get back into like what we used to be relationship wise. And on this trip, I remember making a pit stop and him and I just kind of talking about like the whole thing. And mind you, I honestly could say that I was deeply in love with this guy. Like, I was genuinely in love, and he was somebody who he was somebody who, if I lost my virginity to, I would not have been upset, if that makes sense. And the reason why is because, again, like, I was in love with him at the time. And like, I think I've never lost feelings for him. Him and I still keep in contact to this day. Well, we've never messed around again, but like, we still keep in contact, and I consider him one of my closest friends. Anyway, it's not the point. But also, I know this is looking so weird, but just trust the process. But at the time, I was like in love with him, and I really wanted to save myself for marriage. And there was something in my head that told me that he was going to be the one. Obviously, I don't know yet. He might be, who knows? I'm still pretty young. But at the time, I felt that, and I had never felt that about anybody. And I still, like, I hate to admit this, but like, I still have not felt that about anybody in a very long time. Like, since him, I've never felt the way I felt about him about anybody else. So there's that, which is kind of sad because I've dated a few guys since him, and he was somebody, I don't know, like, I get butterflies thinking about him still, but that's not the point. Anyways, so we started talking again or whatever. And on this like pit stop, we talked about like, sex and virginity and whatnot. And I did tell him, like, I was like, I'm still a virgin. Like, I don't know how to do anything. And so we just talked. He reassured me that everything was okay. We don't have to do anything. I was like, okay, like, whatever. Anyways, so then we like continue on the bus ride. We keep on talking. And I'm like, honestly, mind you, all of this like conversation besides like that one pit stop has been through text on a bus. Anyways, so I did tell him, I was like, honestly, like, I want to lose my virginity to you. That's point blank period. And maybe it's not the most romantic time because we are on a school trip, but I know you are somebody who's going to be prevalent in my life. And I know, like, I have feelings for you that I've never felt before. And I was just like, I do want to lose my virginity. If I'm going to lose it to anybody, I would rather it be you than some rando, like, on the side of the road or on Grindr, which, for those of you who know what Grindr is, yeah. Anyways, point being, that's what I told him, and he was like, okay, if you really want this to happen, then, like, we can try to make it happen. We can definitely look into it. He did not pressure me at all. It was very much so like, I want you to be happy and I want you to be comfortable type of thing. And I was like, thank you. Like, it meant a lot to me that somebody like him was like willing to, I don't want to say willing to, but like, he was just so like, it's okay. Like, if in the moment that like you decide not to, then that's fine. Like, I still like, support you. I still love you. He didn't say love, but I definitely like felt the love, if that makes sense. I don't know. Like, again, him and I have had always a very weird relationship. So then we get to San Antonio for state solo ensemble, and I go up to his room when we first get there, and we like make out a little bit, like, we're getting a little handsy. That's it. Like, nothing happens else. because his like roommate walks out and we're like, oh my gosh, like innocence, like nothing happened, like type of thing. But obviously like the roommate knows. Anyways, so then we're like, we'll talk about this later. Like we'll meet up later. It's, you know, if it happens, it happened. We're not going to force anything. You don't have to worry. So I was like, okay, that's fine. If it happens, it happens. I'm not going to force anything. So then the day goes on, you know, we go to the mall, we go do different things. And so then the night comes and I'm like, honestly, like I still want this to happen. Like if I'm going to lose my virginity to anybody, I want it to be you. Like I genuinely want it to be you. Mind you, after him, I did not date around. I did not mess around with anybody else after him. He was genuinely somebody like I was in love with at the time. And it took a while for me to get over him after like he left high school. And I think that's the only reason why him and I didn't continue dating, was because, again, like, you know, because he left like a year before I did. Anyways, the night came around and we met up. We decided to meet up at his apartment, like not his apartment, what am I saying? At his dorm room. And, or like, not dorm room, not even, it was like the hotel room. And his roommate wasn't there. He had left. I don't know where he went. And so we had the room to ourselves. And we talked at first, and he like kept on like reassuring me. He's like, are you sure you want to do this? And I told him, I was like, if I'm going to lose it to anybody, it's going to be you. And he was like, okay. And so then we started like, you know, messing around a little bit. Definitely did the naughty, to say the least. Anyways, I'm not going to go into detail as to how everything happened, but you know, I'm sure you can like fill in the, like everything that happened, fill in like, you know, the fillers I did not say. Anyways, so we did mess around. I ended up losing my virginity that night. And to be quite honest with you, while it was in a hotel room, I would say like it wasn't super romantic, but at the same time it was romantic, just because I was in love with him. I still kind of am in love with him, and I've always kept feelings for him. So definitely that's something I will definitely say, is that like I was in love with him, and that's the only reason why I was like willing to do it. And I did want to wait. Like again, like don't get me wrong, I did want to wait, but there was something in my head that kept on telling me, like, are you sure? Like, you need to find out, like, whether you are gay or not. And I think that was, like, partial of it. And I think a lot of the problems in society is that we have this stigma that we have to tell, like, we have to be sure. Are you sure you're gay? Are you 100% sure? And I think a lot of my family members did that to me. Like, are you sure you're gay? Are you sure, like this is true? And I think I had that like mentality and like that pressure on me to make sure that I was gay. And I think that's why I lost it I was 17 at the time. That's why I lost it I don't want to say like at a young age, but it was kind of young. And I think that's the only reason why I lost it in high school, was because of the fact that I was pressured. I felt pressured in this like mindset, or like had this mindset of like pressure, where it was just like, are you sure you're gay? Because when I first came out, it was much so like, you're too young to know. Like, there's no way of you knowing because you've never done anything. I was like, you're right. And I think I went the opposite way and was like, well, I need to figure out whether I am or not. And then I did what I did. Obviously figured it out and enjoyed it. Not trying to be explicit here. But I think there has to be that balance. And if like, when it comes down to society and when it comes down to it all, if a child says that they think they're gay, let them be gay. Like, let them live in their moment. Let them experiment with themselves. I'm not condoning like them to go do sex. What I'm saying is that just support them in that moment, because who knows, if it is a phase, so be it. Like, it was a phase in their life. They move on, they grow, they become stronger people, they become bad bitches. And if it's not a phase, then you supported them. You gave them the support that they wanted, the support that they needed in order to move on and grow as a person. That's just my opinion. And I think if you pressure them into thinking that they need to experiment and try to figure out themselves before anything, then at that point, you're the reason, and you're kind of like the reason, like the cause behind the fact that, like, you know, people are like, kids are having sex at a young age. And obviously, again, I'm not saying like anything is bad. I'm not condoning anything. But at the same token too, we all need to take accountability. And if you say, like, it goes back to me saying that, like, if you tell a child they're confused or they don't know what they're talking about or they're too young to really know, then that makes them confused and that makes them want to figure out whether that's true or not. And that encourages, I want to say encourages. I do want to say encourage, just because, like, if I felt like I was encouraged to do so and, like, try to figure out myself. But I don't regret it, because it made me into the person that I am today, maybe into the strong, bad bit that I am today. And it definitely taught me what true love was, because I've never lost love for this person. And I've never felt love the way I felt for anybody else. Or, like, you know, I've never had feelings for somebody else the way I felt for him. So it definitely taught me something different, taught me something new, and taught me what true love was. So if you guys liked today's new video, it was very scandalous. I know, don't get me wrong. Am I going to regret this? Obviously, like I said. But in the end of the day, it's going to help others, and it's going to help you guys. And it's going to help me, obviously, cope with what I had to go through as a child. Nevertheless, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for 121 subscribers. You guys mean the absolute world to me. I thank you guys so much for coming back over and over again. If y'all want to see me next week, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button as well as that bell icon so you know when I upload brand new videos. And leave me a comment down below as to what you guys want to see. If y'all want to follow me on all of my social media or my, you know, story in general, hit all the links down below. All my social media is going to be linked down below. And again, if you guys want to see something in particular, DM me, comment down below, or just let me know in general. I love you guys, and I hope to see y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.